So thank you for hanging out with us today. We have Jeremiah here, the owner of Ocean Encounters in Curacao. We also have Edward, who's the Sales and Marketing US office for Ocean Encounters, and they are going to take you away to Curacao.
All right, I don't know if anybody can see me or just hear me, but welcome. I want to first thank Cheryl, Deep Blue Adventures, for having us. This is such a fantastic idea for all of us who are being quarantined right now, and at least we get to get out. And I wish I could see all your faces out there, but instead, I guess I'll just be talking to my screen. Just to give you a little update on what's happening in Curacao, we have had only 14 cases, and there's only 2 active right now. So our island's done a very good job of controlling it. There, we're all safe and sound. We just miss all the tourists. So without further ado, I'm going to teach you a little bit about Curacao. So here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeremiah with Ocean Encounters here in Curacao. You know, the coronavirus has forced us all to stay at home, and we sincerely hope that everybody's doing okay. But while we're out diving, we always have the opportunity to ask our divers if they're doing okay. So from our Ocean Encounters family, we'd like to know, are you okay? Peace everyone, stay safe. Hi everyone.
So that was just a little message from me and my staff. As you can see, a lot of us have been scattered all over the world, and it's a little bit sad for us to not be together, but we're trying to stay connected. So our presentation is really going to be about why Curacao. There's a lot of people who aren't familiar with Curacao. They don't know that we are the largest of the ABCs. You know, everybody does know about Aruba and Bonaire, but we're snacked right in the middle of the two. The reason we chose this picture first, as you can see, you know, the one thing that sets us apart from a lot of the other islands in the Caribbean is that it's a big island with a lot to offer, a lot to do. And we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So we're going to talk about experiencing Curacao both above and below the surface. So where is Curacao? You can see here, this is a picture of the Caribbean. It's just a couple-hour flight from Miami. We're straight down. You can see directly in between this little thing here is Aruba, this little thing here is Bonaire. So we're just north of South America. And what makes that unique is we are south of the hurricane belt. So we have, we're easy to get to, but we have year-round good weather, year-round good diving. So the weather in general, as you can see, the temp, 86 degrees, that's exactly how it is right now. I asked Siri to give me that information. So that is the current weather. We're stable year round. I mean, we do have what we call kite flying season. That's a little bit during the winter time. So let's say January to April, where it gets a little bit windier here, which makes it great because it's a lot less humid. And we don't have too much humidity anyway, but that breeze really keeps it dry here. When I thought about moving to Curacao, I thought, oh, I'm moving to this, you know, jungle Caribbean, you know, humid, you know, buggy type place. But we're a very arid island, especially for you people that have been to Aruba and Bonaire, you know that. We are south of the hurricane belt, you know, with what was happening in the Caribbean over the years. You know, it seemed that people were afraid to travel here due to storms, and we don't get storms. I've been here since 2006. We did have a kind of a storm in 1999, Hurricane Lenny, created some waves and a few other tropical depressions since then. But in the 14 years I've been working at Ocean Encounters, I think we've not gone out maybe, well, now with the coronavirus, I guess that's more now, but due to weather, it's probably only about 4 times in those 14 years. So you can plan your trip anytime. We have a year-round good weather, year-round good diving. It's a little bit like Groundhog Day. It's the endless summer we're living down here. So again, like I said, it's an island paradise, with just so much to do and so much to offer. We'll get into the diving part of it, but you know, you can see that it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. If you Google downtown, you can see the pretty buildings here. When you Google Curacao, that's the first thing that pops up. It is really a melting pot of different cultures, languages, which makes for some interesting, nightlife and day life as well, I guess, you know, because we get some fantastic food. It's rich in history. We have some great museums, great nightlife, good music festivals. some historical downtown areas that are just a lot of fun to walk around in. We do have the white sandy beaches like all the other Caribbean islands as well. Some good nature, some good outdoors. So it's really, you know, a little bit something for everyone. And I think that's one thing that really sets us out from our competitors in the other islands, our friends in the other islands, but they are our competitors too, is that we have a lot to do topside. So don't be afraid to bring those family members that are non-divers, because they're definitely not going to get bored. Just a quick little list of all the little things we have to offer. Klein Curacao, it's a bounty island off the east. It's really like it fell out of the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a real white sandy beach, great day trip. We have some great festivals. Carnival is really big here. You guys call it Mardi Gras. The North Sea Jazz, so we get big names. They have a concert every year. Like I said, museum shopping. Over on the west as well, there's a lot of really good nature, hiking, mountain biking. The ostrich farm is here, which is really unique. It's the biggest African farm in the Caribbean. We even have the sea aquarium. There's wakeboarding, off-roading, hiking, golfing. We have 3 great golf courses, a Pete Dye course, and nightlife, of course, great happy hours. So it's a little something for everyone. There's casinos here too. So you definitely will not be bored. We're uniquely located pretty much 10 minutes outside of the UNESCO World Heritage downtown area. And we're located on an area called the Mambo Beach. And what makes that unique for us is that, you know, we have Lions Dive Beach Resort on one side and the Sea and Sunscape all inclusive on the other. And in between, we have the Mambo Beach Boulevard that is right next door to the Sea Aquarium. So it's great for kids and families and non-diving friends. The Boulevard has a lot of shops. It has 16 different restaurants. It's got live music, happy hours. Different spas. You can get your hair done. You can get the braids, the Caribbean braids, and you can get massages out on the water. And there's a casino close by. So the importance of that, and you'll see a 360 tour of the area later. The importance of that is that, you know, a lot of times you go to these resorts and you only have, let's say, the 3 or 4 restaurants, and then you're kind of stuck on that resort, or you have to rent a car, or take an expensive taxi to really experience different kinds of food, or to get out different atmospheres. And all of this was within a few hundred meters, a few hundred yards from our dive shop and the hotels where we have a property. So the diving itself is super healthy. I mean, arguably some of the healthiest, if not the healthiest reefs in the Caribbean. A lot of people have heard about Bonaire and Divers Paradise, and it is a great place, and we have a lot of good friends there. Geographically speaking, they're 30 miles away. The diving is just as good here. You know, our tourism board doesn't get out and market it as well. But if you like to dive in Bonaire, then you're definitely going to love it here. We have plentiful marine life, super healthy reef, great mackerel. I mean, especially this spring we had frogfish and seahorse almost on every dive. You can pretty much see Venezuela from underwater. We always have very good, most of the time, 95% of the time, very good visibility. You know, sometimes if it rains, which is very rare, then it stirs it up, and it's warm. I mean, right now, it's probably around 80 degrees. The 79 degrees is usually in the winter months. We are still pretty far north of the equator, so we share your winter times for all you people in North America. So yeah, the coldest water time is December, or let's say December through now, and then it starts to warm up at the end of summer. It's all the way up to about 86 degrees. But I mean, 79, I think for you guys for you all is not that cold. So this is Curacao itself. You can see it's one of the benefits I think for us is it's shaped like an airplane wing. What makes that so special is if you have everything coming from the east here, this is usually where the trade winds and the waves and all that are coming from this direction. So the lee side of the island is not only protected, but the currents and the water flow, there's no place for the water to sit or get stuck. It's just this constant movement of fresh water and life that comes by. And with fresh, healthy, nutrient-filled water, you're going to get unbelievable corals, and then with that brings some marine life. So it's really just the perfect location, geographically speaking. And again, being south of the hurricane belt, below the storms, but then just having this constant freshwater flow going by, it really makes it. You can see also here, I'm going to talk a little bit later, but you can see this east side of the island is extremely unique. It's about 15% of the whole southeast side of Curacao is owned by one family who has not developed it yet. And so arguably, again, some of the healthiest reefs you will find in the Caribbean, places where staghorn and elkhorn are still thriving. And it's a neat area out there, and we're still trying to protect it because it is incredibly special, healthy place. So this is us. This is, I'm actually sitting, you can't see me, but I'm somewhere inside there. That's my office. And this is a picture of the Lions Eye Beach Resort and our main shop there with a couple of our boats. A couple of them are out diving when this picture was taken as well. And you can see down here on the other side is Sunscape, where we have 2 facilities, and then the Mambo Beach is in between. So Ocean Encounters itself, we are Curacao's premier 5-star dive resort. We are associated with PADI, we are associated with SSIM, we are associated with NAUI. We're like to consider ourselves inclusive. So no matter who you're affiliated with, we support you. No matter who you're certified with, we support you, and feel free to come and dive with us. Again, we're not just associated with one training agency. We like them all. We do have 2 locations on site. Locations, that means we do have 2 physical dive shops on the water. Again, I'll give you a tour later. This is Sunscape. This is our all-inclusive property on that top picture there. And then we have Lions Dive in the previous picture. That is our main location. We do partner with a lot of different hotels. As we talked about when we started here, Edward Peters is on the line right now. We have a 1-800 number for our US rep, and he can book any of these hotels for you, and we can assist you with those kind of sleep and dive packages through Deep Blue, of course. But also we provide service to all major hotels. So if you have Marriott points, no problem, we'll pick you up. And no matter which hotel you want to come down to, we work with everybody. And we're flexible enough that we'll make sure that we can bring you in and give you the ultimate dive experience. As we mentioned, so this is Lions Dive. This is more the resort here. It's called the Natural Place to Stay. It's a 4-star resort with 4 different restaurants and bars. You can see super convenient here. The dive shop's located right there on the water. We have a fringing reef system here. Again, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour about that later. And then this is Sunscape too. Sunscape is an AMR resort, an AM resort. It's an all-inclusive. It's great for groups. We do specialize in groups, so I'll talk a little bit about later, but this is perfect. It's a great value. There's an on-site casino and spa. We have a little dive shop over here that we pick you up on the water, which is super convenient. The house reef is fantastic. We have 3 different dive sites, left, right, and deep. And yeah, it's perfectly set up for diving. So whatever you guys like to do, we can provide it. So what makes us unique? Well, first of all, we have a lot of unique programs, and I'll touch on a little bit on those later. And we love groups. We love working with dive shops. We do have kind of a philosophy called your dive shop away from home. So if you're a dive center out there and you want to come down and bring your customers to us and you want to teach, we're not going to take any of your certifications. We're not going to charge you any extra. You can come down and use my facilities as if it was your dive center. You pay for them just like if they were a certified diver, and they take the tanks that a certified diver would, or they take a spot on the boat that a certified diver would. And so it's a great way to maximize group sizes as well, is that, you can bring your students. And again, there's no extra cost. We do ask, which doesn't cost anything as well, to be additionally insured. But feel free and feel confident and comfortable that you can come down here and finish off your courses, especially those people that aren't able to teach year round. It's perfect for you. You can start up and do the pool sessions and knowledge development in those cold winter months, and then come and certify your students down here with us. We also have a full-time photo and video staff, so we make sure that we capture all your memories of your trip. So that's also, they can join by request, or they'll end up on the boats one of the days, and we do record all the courses, etc. as well. Guaranteed daily boat departures. We have a philosophy that we always go out, weather permitting, which again, we've maybe canceled 4 times in 14 years. But if I only have one person on the boat, I still go out diving. We're not the type of people that it doesn't happen very, very often with us, but it's not the customer's fault that we weren't able to sell the trip. So as long as we have one person signed up, we guaranteed to go out. So we'll make sure that we're going out. The other thing I think that sets us apart, and if you go on a lot of our TripAdvisor and a lot of those, looking at all the review pages, is our staff is unbelievable. We're very professional. We call it's serious fun. Of course, we're very serious about what we do, but we have a lot of fun. And I think that the philosophy that we've had with that is that you've all invested a lot of money to come down. You know, you found people to look after your kids or your animals and someone to look after your house, and you saved your money to come down, and we're going to give you that fantasy that you guys have invested in, and we're going to make sure that you are treated and you do get that ultimate dive experience. And our staff is really, really keen to make sure that happens, and really focused on giving you the best experience, because again, you deserve it. We do have 4 large, clean, comfortable custom dive boats. We have a Newton 46, a Pro 48, probably 2 of the most used boats in the Caribbean. We also have a Mike Fitz 42 and a Seahawk 36. So we do have the capacity to go out. If you do come with groups and you have, we try to give, when you have groups, we try to give you your own boat. You're guaranteed your own boat if you have 16 or more. And we dedicate staff as well to you. But our boats, you'll see, it's just very well set up at both of our dive centers. And again, I'll give you a little bit of tour of the area a little bit later. We have a membrane compressor, so any type of nitrox you need, we're banking 32. But we also can do tech support, helium, rebreathers, pure O2, partial pressure, whatever mix you want. We're here to help. All of our rental gear is within 18 months. We rotate it out, so it's all nice and shiny and new, and actually getting all serviced right now. We're all sitting and waiting for our divers to come back. And 24/7 diving is available. When you're diving with us, you have unlimited air during your package days. So if you're on a 5-day package, we throw in an extra day and give you 6 days of unlimited air. So with our boat diving, they generally leave around 8:30, come back around noon, and then other than that, you're free to dive as much as you like. We have open locker rooms that we can give everybody keys to. They're safe and secure, monitored by cameras. So we can leave tanks in there for you, and you can do an early morning dive, afternoon, evening, all that kind of stuff. So 24/7 is available. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have a US sales rep who has joined us in this group, who can answer your questions, and he works closely with Deep Blue to make all your reservations and to make sure you guys are getting the best customer service available. The other thing that makes us unique is we really focus on sustainability. It is our commitment. You know, we have a lot of good eco-friendly practices. We have solar powered ACs for the shop. We have LED lights, water timers on our rinse tanks. We do our best with eco-friendly soaps for our boats. We have recycled bins, et cetera, et cetera. We have a line-fish scuba dive experience, so we are actively culling lionfish, and we'll talk a little bit about that later because you can help us do that. We do support a lot of local human capital, so we invest in Curacao. We make sure that we have the philosophy of making this a career for people, not just hey, passing by with a backpack and you're a dive instructor, so you come for a year. And I think you'll see that and that shows in our customer service, because they're passionate about what they do and they like working here. And a lot of them have worked here for a number of years, so they're very, very intimate with our products. We were the proud founder of the Core Restoration in here in Curacao, working together with CRF starting in Florida, and also which goes on in Bonaire and other places now. We have eco-friendly choices. We try to, you can see these, this is pretty cool. We have recycled keychains here that are made by a couple of kids on the island that recycle plastic and do that. We have bamboo cutlery. You know, we're a Patty Green Star. We have glass straws in the shop. We encourage everybody, water to drink in Curacao is like Evian on tap. So we try to encourage everybody to buy a bottle and reuse. We have water in all the boats, etc. We have joined Patty's Adopted Dive Site. We do weekly cleanups, and we sell Stream to Sea and all those kind of things as well. So we know that the sea is what we make our living, and we do our best to protect it as much as we can. So a lot of the unique dives are unique programs that you can get here. One is the dolphin boat dive. So we're working in conjunction with the Sea Aquarium to take dolphins out into the open ocean. We're the only place, I think, now in the world that is doing this. It was giving you an open water experience with dolphins. It's a fantastic bucket list kind of dive that we're doing a couple times a week. We have 2 all-day trips that we serve lunch on Fine Curacao. Like I was mentioning at the beginning, it's a real bounty island off the East Coast. So what we do is we dive on East Point, which is, as we talked about, probably the healthiest reefs in the Caribbean. It's a good adventurous dive. All these are drift dives because we don't have a place to tie the boat. And then we cross over to Fine Curacao, real white sandy beaches, a lot of places to see turtles and the bigger animals and stuff out there. And we do serve lunch on that trip as well. Mushroom Forest, probably, maybe you guys have heard of it. It still probably is our most famous dive site here on the island. It's all the way to the west. It's a great way to see the the island too, because we're going all the way along the southern coast, all the way up to the west, to dive site number 9. And then we go into the Blue Room. I remember Sport Diver Magazine calling it the one of the top 10 dive sites in Curacao, but it's actually a snorkel cave that we do on the surface interval. And again, this is another trip. We stop by Porta Marie. These are awesome all-day trips on our big, comfortable boats that we go on. And we're the only ones on the island doing these trips dedicated for divers, using dive boats to go out. We also, because we have boats and dive from boats, we were able to go to our famous wreck here. I think it was the number 5 wreck in the Caribbean. It's a Superior Producer, beautiful 2,000-foot freight ship. It's sunk in exactly 100 feet of water, perfect for nitrox. Sunk in 1977, and it's got some beautiful growth on it. Got some great, you can do some simple penetration on it. It's really, really nice. Another deep wreck dive, which is really neat, is the car pile, and that is the house reef of Sunscape, of one of our hotels. So when anyone's staying over there, you get to enjoy that as your house reef. Tugboat, which is quite famous here, we're doing that a few times a week, especially in the afternoon. As I mentioned, the coral restoration and lionfish scuba dive experience, which I'm going to touch on a little bit more here. So the LSD, as we like to call it, the LSD experience is an environmental awareness program. We started, Paul and I, in 2012. It's a fantastic, exhilarating hunt. You know, when we started it, we weren't necessarily allowing people to shoot. And as the problem came with lionfish, everyone was getting certified to do it. So this is a program that we do in the afternoon, and we do allow people to spear. We do the program itself that we used to give. The presentation was more of why they're here, why they're bad, but you guys all know that. So now it's more of how to handle a spear and how to shoot. We have a little spear practice. We do cut them up and do make fresh sashimi on the boat. And it's a neat program that we also can extend into a lionfish scuba dive week. So if you have a dive shop out there, we've specialized in different kinds of programs where we've put together whole weeks of these things. And, you know, you get a lot of people out there, and we can make competitions out of it. So you bring your group down, we teach them how to spear, we do some buoyancy training, and then we have a competition out of it. The biggest, the smallest, who shot the most for the week. We'll do a big barbecue, have a ceviche making demonstration, you know, all that kind of stuff. So if you do come down in a group and you don't want to have all the extra stuff, but you do have your own boats, we do allow for those, as long as everybody in the group agrees on it, to allow people to spear. And we have stuff either people can bring, or we have zookeepers here people can rent for very low prices as well. We do not allow spearing on our normal 2-tank boats, and the reason is there's we have a very mixed clientele, a lot of them from Europe and other places, and they're not necessarily, not everybody's into watching animals being speared, even though we are killing things to save the environment, but we respect that, and so we do not allow it on our normal 2-tank dive. But again, if you want to do practice that 24/7 diving, do some shore dives and stuff, that stuff is available, or we can set up again these special weeks for that. As I mentioned, we do the weekly adopted dive sites as well. We work together with a lot of kids too. We have something here called the Curacao Dive Task Force. It's all the reputable dive shops on the island that are CTB approved, the Tourism Board approved, and so we're going out, and our house reef is fantastic. Not only is it the home of the coral restoration, but we make sure that it's very clean as well. So the coral restoration itself, we started it, we've extended it to some other dive centers on the island as well. But it's a nonprofit, and we try to get tourists as much involved as we can. We do offer, even for guests that are staying at Lions Dive who are not necessarily divers, they can go on a free snorkel tour out there. We can do a PADI restoration diver course. We can do just a guided nursery dive. So the coral restoration diver course is a couple afternoons, or one day and an afternoon. I think it's a day and a half, more or less. Don't quote me on that, but it's something you can do for sure in your week, where you really get your hands dirty. Or we can just do a guided nursery dive in the afternoon, so you can get to see the area and discuss some of the restoration techniques. Again, this is our house reef, so if you're using your unlimited air, you get to see all this as well. And it is something that we work closely together with a lot of the schools. So we're trying to give back to the locals and make sure that we're teaching these kids about what we're doing, and that's been a huge success. Without talking too much about it, there is just a short little video that explains a little bit about what we're doing. That was a nice break. I think hearing me talk as well, I hope. Again, unfortunately, we did have to shut that down for now with this coronavirus. But if you guys do want to get involved, you can visit our website, Coral Restoration Foundation Curacao.org. I think it is. You can Google it and follow us on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. What I do want to jump into now is something that you guys can play with as well. This is our 360 tour. Hopefully my screen changed and you're looking at what I'm looking at. So this is a 360 tour that is on our homepage, and you can get an idea of our area. So what I'm looking at here, this is Lion's Dive Beach Resort. These are 3 boats, and we have our other one stuck over here. If I click on these circles, you can come in and you can see that super convenient location. Boarding the boats, you can see, is incredibly easy. We have, when you get off the boats, we have our rinse tanks and showers over here. We have our retail area. And this is our shop where you can come in and make reservations, our information board, our boat list, so you can see what boat you're on in the morning. A little bit of waiting area, rental, and the locker room is just back here. So, you know, a few steps down from your hotel room, you grab your stuff, and a couple more steps, you're already out on the boat. So it's super convenient. And you have, this is where you have breakfast over here at Hemingway's, if you're staying at this hotel. Now let's head back up so you can get an overview of the beach itself and the area. So this is Lion's Dive Beach Resort, the natural place to stay. It's located on the Mambo Beach, but it is a private beach. Different room types. You can get oceanfront. You can get cabanas that step out right under the sand. Your typical rental house, and you can see it's all very close to the dive shop. This is, there's 4 on-site restaurants, but Hemingway's down here on the corner next to the dive shops where you're gonna have breakfast, and it's also a fantastic place to enjoy happy hour. They have live music a couple nights a week, a really nice Cuban band on Sundays, where you can watch all the locals salsa. The diving itself, the entry is just in here from shore. Oh, I'm not gonna see if I can get you out there. And you can see that we have a fringing reef system. So just walking right in here, the dive site is right there. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. And the core restoration that we were talking about is all just located right here. So this distance is pretty shallow. You can swim on the surface out, but when you're coming back in from the dive, you can swim underneath the water, just staying out of the middle of the channel. So super, super convenient. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, I talked about the Mambo Beach Boulevard. So you can see here, it is just adjacent to the hotel. And there's a bunch of different, you know, bars, restaurants, places to get spa, Mexican, there's sushi, there's pizza places, there's great steakhouses, there's 5-star Italian, there's Dutch snack bars. So really close by the resort. So as I mentioned, you know, you're not just stuck with, you know, the 4 restaurants, which are all very good. It's not being stuck with them. But at least you can walk around and feel the freedom and also security. Not that you need to be secure here, because it's a safe island, but you know, again, you don't have the stress of having to get in the car and really go any place. It is recommended for one day or whatnot, but anyway, everything's right here. This is Sunscape, so it's just on the other side. This is Mambo Beach Boulevard, and just across the water, this is where our other resort is. I love this dive center. It's a shack right out on the water. You can see here that, you know, super convenient. The locker room where you store your gear is all inside there. Here's the rinse tanks and showers, and I mean, just a few steps. This is where you board the boat. This is where I mean, everything is just right there. This is also where you use this higher railing here to sit down and put on your gear to fall in the water to do the shore dive. So super, super convenient. And you can see from here that, this one is opposite, that the dive site is just right here. So as I was mentioning, you have, hopefully I'm not making anybody seasick here. You have right, left, and deep. So super convenient, located right next to the dive site here. The hotel itself is the longest private beach in Curacao. You can see it's got different areas. So down here is you have the Sun Club area, where it's a little bit more adults only, a little bit quiet. 5 or 6 restaurants. Edward might have to answer that question. They did this one here is the main restaurant. You can see here, it looks like it's wood covered. It's because they were rebuilding it when this was taken. So in December last year, it was all brand new. There's a casino on site, spa, recreational area, bunch of different pools, pool bars. There's a tower here, as you can see, close to the dive center. So it's convenient within walking distance, but super great resort, family friendly. And if you have people who are traveling with kids, they do have a kids club. So they will watch, and it opens in time to catch our boats. So that is super nice for people with kids. The kids will have a great time. Plus there's like climbing walls and batting cages and all that kind of stuff over there. So pretty neat little tool. Again, you can go over to our website, and that 360 tour is, let's see if I can get my presentation back. Sorry guys, I need to get my presentation back. That's why I became a dive instructor, man. These technical difficulties. All right.
Are you okay, Jeremiah? You got it?
Good, good. I saved it. I saved it. Anyway, go to our website, check it out, and that's really all for me. We're going to open up to questions, but I just wanted to leave you guys with a quick little video and say thanks for listening to me. So enjoy. All right, and thanks. We hope to see everybody soon. And as we said from the beginning, everybody needs to stay safe.
Thank you, Jeremiah. That was awesome. It was beautiful. And we've been looking at some of the comments that have been coming in as you've been going along and everything, talking about how beautiful it is and everything else, and how they love the 360 tour too. So they enjoyed that very much.
Did I stop the share of the screen, or what should I do now?
No, you got a picture. They're just saying that they really enjoyed the 360. We're seeing it. We're seeing all your crew and wishing us to stay safe. So thank you. Guys, we're going to open it up for questions. Carrie Ann, bear with me for just a second while I find your name here so I can switch you on, because I know you have a question for Jeremiah. Bear with me for just a moment.
I got it, Cheryl.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Is Carrie unmuted? Is she there?
She's got to unmute her own microphone from her computer if she can.
All right, I'm still showing on mute.
You know what? I think in the last presentation, she said she didn't have a mic. So she wants to know, are your boats wheelchair accessible? And are you aware of accommodations that are wheelchair accessible?
Wow, that's actually great. First of all, we are very wheelchair accessible. We have hosted groups. We had a group from Poland last year where we had, I think, 18 handicapped divers or challenged. I think 6 of them were in wheelchairs. Lions Dive is primarily handicap accessible, but also next door to us is the Curacao Sea Aquarium, and the Sea Aquarium has something called the Curacao Dolphin Therapy Program, where they work with handicapped children, and they have a hotel called Dolphin Suites, which is 100% handicap or challenged, physically challenged, accessible, wheelchairs, et cetera, et cetera. And all of our boats and all of our staff are used to working with people in wheelchairs, and we'd love to have them for sure.
Okay, Susan Janesco is asking, what's the best way to get to Curacao from the US?
Right now, well, normally speaking, and the easiest is from Miami. If you can get to Miami, we have 2 daily flights. When things start up again, we have 2 flights out of Charlotte as well on Tuesday and Saturday. And if you're up there in the Northeast, there's a great and very inexpensive one on JetBlue, which I think it was 2 days a week as well. And United just started flying in from Newark in December. And again, what that's going to do when things open up again, I'm not sure. But your safest bet, if you can get to Miami, it's super easy. It's just a 2.5-hour flight down from Miami. But there is other options for sure.
And Craig Walker, he sounds like he's a lucky guy. He says if he stays in a friend's house, do you have week-long or multiple day packages to simply dive with you?
Absolutely. You're more than welcome to. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 12 days of 2-tank boat diving, unlimited air dives as well. So if you want to just grab tanks and go from shore, unlimited night truck packages, absolutely.
All right, so Craig's a lucky guy. He's got the in with a friend living on Curacao already.
Perfect.
Vivian is sharing that what a great locker room you have with setup and wagons to take gear to the beach entry and no charge for dive flag use. So Vivian's just sharing how nice and easy you make the shore diving.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So has anybody else got questions? Did you want to raise your hands or anything like that? You can do it that way and I'll put you on with Jeremiah, or otherwise I'll keep reading the question and answer boxes out to you. Let me see. Loretta's got a question here. Bear with me. You have over 100 people in here, Jeremiah, so I have to scroll through. So that's why.
Nice. No, I'm glad you told me that afterwards. I would have been nervous otherwise.
Loretta, you're on the line.
Okay. Do you have guided dawn dives?
Do we have guided dives?
Dawn, like sunrise dives?
Yeah, we can always, our dive masters and instructors, although paid very well, but they love making extra money. So, another thing that we talked about that I didn't mention on our unique dives, but we have night dives and fluorescent dives almost every night. And if you want to get in before the sun comes up or just then, just arrange it with one of our dive masters, and I'm sure they'd love to dive.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Loretta.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Wyatt, you're on. You should be. I know your mic works sometimes, so there you go.
To me,
You're on.
Cheryl?
Yeah.
Were you talking to me? Hi. Did you ask if I'm on?
No, I was trying to unmute Dave Wyatt, but you've got the floor if you want to chat. Edward is, as I mentioned at the beginning, from the U.S. Sales Office for Ocean Encounters. So, Edward, you got anything you want to share while we have you on?
No, I think Jeremiah answered pretty much everything so far. So I think, I've been watching the other questions that are being asked, and I think that we covered quite a bit of stuff here. And I would like to talk to, Cheryl, I would like to talk to you about the question that Andy had about teaching some of the coral restoration stuff, at least the theoretical part.
Okay, fantastic. So Andy Sabo, if you're listening, it looks like Edward was watching the chats back and forth. So we'll talk together, and just so everybody knows, Andy is looking to try and do some stuff to help boost and share that coral restoration program locally and then in conjunction with you guys. So Andy, sounds like we're going to be getting that conversation going. So we'll connect with Edward and or Jeremiah and you guys, and we'll follow up on that. Anything that we can do to boost the coral restoration program. It's such amazing work that you guys do out there. We could talk about that all day.
I'm back through again, Cheryl.
Sorry? Okay. All right. Edward, did you want to have anything else that you wanted to add? I really applaud you guys' coral restoration program. It's an excellent one that speaks to all of us. And I love that you have different options as far as if you just wanted to spend an afternoon and go view it, or really immerse yourself in a day or two course. It's got a lot for people depending on how involved or not involved they wanted to get into it. So I do love your coral restoration program.
Yeah, hey, one of the things that we're seeing, one of the things that we're seeing more and more is that a lot of divers, since we offer the coral restoration specialty in the afternoons, a lot of divers, they actually do their 2-tank in the morning, and they can still do the specialty in 2 to 3 afternoons and have a great dive experience in Curacao. And then if they decide to come back, they can always participate in the work that we have to do to maintain the coral nurseries.
Yeah, and it's important work too. So thank you for that. I'm so glad you guys started that initiative, and it's an opportunity for everyone out there.
Hey, real quick too, I got my chat room up and I saw Chris White was asking about beach dives, and there's over 100 dives on our southern coast. On all over the island, you won't be able to do it in 1 week. They're very accessible. We can down at our dive center as well, we have a loading dock where you can drive your car all the way down. We can load up tanks for you. We have a large map on our wall. We can give you instructions on where to go, how to dive, how to access it. There's tons of beach diving around here. I just wanted to add that. I saw his question.
Yeah, you get a lot of questions, so we're trying to keep up and give everybody else an opportunity. Dave, Wyatt, you're on live now, so go for it.
Okay, I've got a SSI certification on scientific diver rating that I received as an aquarium diver up in Oregon.
Fantastic.
And I was wondering something, would that translate over to that coral restoration? Because that looks like that'd be really fun to do, because I'm used to doing an underwater workload as far as working with stuff in the aquarium.
Yeah, the fact that you have prior experience is fantastic. And it wouldn't directly translate over, but it would definitely give you a leg up in joining our program. You do have to understand that the techniques that have been involved by, we're a part of a coral restoration community that is Caribbean, actually worldwide. And so some of our techniques that we're using out in the open ocean might be a little bit different than what you've done and with the scientific diver stuff. That does give you a huge leg up. So I think probably we could make it an accelerated program, but we would still like you to go through and learn our specific techniques to get involved.
Sure, no problem.
Cool, thank you.
Someone was asking about nitrox. Did that question get answered?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I think Robert Lee asked a question about nitrox. We do charge extra for nitrox. It's $10 per tank or $30 unlimited per day.
Okay, so Robert, I think that probably answered your question there. Is there anybody else that has any questions? You can put your hands up in the chat box or put something in the chat box, as you know, or the Q&A box as well. Stacy is sharing that this has been a great way to see what the island has to offer. They dive frequently on Bonaire, but have never been to either of the other 2 islands. So this might be her next trip.
Oh, fantastic, Stacy. You're just saving the best for last, I guess. Huh?
They are 2 completely different islands. So just because they're real close by to each other, they are 2 completely different experiences. So if you've not been to Curacao before, I highly recommend it. And if you have, if you want to do a mix of other activities and culture, history, there's a cool fort in there. If you're a gambler or a shopper, or if you're a foodie, there's a lot of options on Curacao as well. And they have a cool festival, a jazz festival every year. So a lot of fun stuff on Curacao, as well as some excellent diving. And they've got some unique dive sites as well. So definitely an all-round experience and easy to get to.